Hi trader, welcome to the weekly Forex overview. Today's focus is on breakout opportunities on the euro dollar and dollar yen. My name is Chris and this video is brought to you by Admiral Markets. Before we take a look at the markets and charts though, be aware that this webinar is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country or residence, and contact the appropriate entity for more details. Also, please be aware that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered higher risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. So let's take a look, first of all, at the dollar yen 1 hour chart right here. And from my perspective, this is looking like a 50% Fibonacci bounce, as you can see right at the moving average at the bottom of the Admiral Keltner indicator, which is part of the MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition. From my perspective, there could be a breakout as a fifth wave. For those that like waves, I consider this to be a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, wave 4 has not gone into the territory of wave 1, so that is still possible. So what I'm looking for basically is a bit of a bull flag on the lower time frame at the pivot point, and then a continuation up to R1 and then the R2 and perhaps even the R3. Between I think the R2 and the minus 272 target at 116 is probably the most logical target. So there's some space between 115 and 116. At that point, somewhere in here, I think there could be an ABC zigzag because this would complete a 5 wave up like this, which can complete a wave 1 on a bigger scale. And in that case, we could see an ABC zigzag within a wave 2. At that point, I would expect one more push up as a wave 3, or perhaps a bigger ABC instead of the 1, 2. For the moment though, I think a 1, 2, 3 upwards seems most likely. So up for wave 5 of wave 1, then an ABC within blue wave 2. So what I'm going to do is wait for price to make the breakout up in here for the wave 5. I'm looking perhaps for some reversal signals up in here if I want to catch the wave A. More importantly though is to take a look at the wave ABC potential. I can put a fib on this part to look for the wave C, and also of course another idea could be to put a fib from here to here and to see where the 61.8, 78 and 50 fibs are, something like this for instance, from here to here, and wait for the wave 2 to finish at any of these fibs to the upside. So that's the dollar yen breakout, but also a longer term potential in my opinion. Now why you might think, am I bullish? That's because of the break of this trend line. It's also because if you look at the daily chart, we see a pretty sturdy uptrend here. So you can see that from this perspective, I think this could still be a correction and where price could be ready for that upside like this. So if we then zoom into the 4 hour again, we can see that this could only be a correction. Since the price has broken through this resistance, this could be the start of that bigger upswing and the start of that bigger resumption of the uptrend, and this could be the end of that correction. More on the dollar yen tonight, probably with Nene during his weekly recap, but myself also will be taking a look at the dollar yen in, of course, Tuesday and Wednesday webinars, price action and patterns, Fibonacci and waves in the morning. Wednesday, Thursday, we focus on education, master candles, and exotic candlestick patterns. So if you're a fan of candlesticks, Wednesday and Thursday are absolutely webinars for you, 2 educational webinars on that particular topic. I also mentioned the euro dollar, so want to take a look at that first of all. 4 hour chart, you see the rising wedge indicated by these blue trend lines. Price has fallen since then, and you see some bearish momentum here, and it could be the start of a bearish trend. You see if you connect these two or 3 tops, I should say, and we'll make that an orange line so you can see that a bit better. That could be the start of a downtrend right there. What I do need though is price to break below the pivot, just like with the dollar yen, break below this support trend line. And I think there could be a fall down to S2, perhaps to S3, down to these Fibonacci targets as well. And that could be a breakout trade right there. I'll be looking for 4 hour candles breaking through this, looking for on lower time frames, maybe on an hourly or 15-minute chart for some pullbacks and then continuations right there. Depending on how price falls here, whether there's a lot of momentum or whether it moves choppy, there could be more downside remaining. But that depends on how it falls. If there's a lot of speed here, and then a bear flag, yes, there could be more downside to come. If price moves, however, like this, all right, and it looks like a falling wedge, for instance, that changes things. and this could then become a correction for more upside. So I'll have to see more updates on that on Tuesday and Wednesday. Alternatively, of course, if price does not break and bounces here, it could build a triangle, and then I'll have to see to which direction the triangle breaks, whether that is bearish or who knows whether it breaks bullish. All right. If it does break bullish, then we need to zoom out to the daily chart. Let me get rid of this fib first of all. And that didn't succeed. Sorry. All right, there we go. And then you can see that if we do get a bullish break, we're going to be probably headed to 108, which is the R2, and I think that's still a strong resistance spot because of this top and the long-term moving average. So I think that's still heavy resistance at 108. So there could be some bullish breakout, but ultimately I think a turn will happen, a bearish turn will happen at 108 like this. If we do get the bearish breakout, you can see the price is relatively choppy, so there could be a good case to be made for a bearish momentum to the downside as it breaks out. All right, pound USD basically the same as the euro dollar, so I won't spend too much time on this currency pair. But here too, a breakout basically, we can see price down to the -272 target at 124.75, 125. Some small space there, not too much. If it does show a bear flag, however, I'll be interested in trading it further down. That's where I think it's a bit more interesting than this part. 125 is a pretty strong level. 124.75, you know, there's a long-term moving average, S1, S2. So there is a small space here, but more space lower down below here. If it does break higher, I wouldn't like that. I mean, there's a lot of resistance still up in here, so there could be a turn at that spot. For me to trade it to the upside, I would really need price to probably break above this top or show good momentum and a bull flag and then a breakout. Otherwise, to that point, I think it's bearish, but I'd rather trade it probably below 124.75 after a bear flag. Last but not least, the Aussie. Kind of the same structure here as the euro dollar and pound USD. We see strong momentum to the upside, but we see a turnaround potential. Here too, though, a breakout is needed. A break below this bottom, below the pivot point at S1, could see price head toward the S3 and the next support level in green. Once price breaks below that, I think there's more space down to the next support level right there. Why that level? Because that could be a potential head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders right there, like this. All right, so this could be a turnaround. This could be a slow start of a new downtrend. Here are the spaces for that breakout to the downside. If price does break to the upside, and this is just a correction, price will need to break above the orange and the R1, and there could be some space up in there. That's the breakout decision zones on the Aussie. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this throughout the week as well. Thanks for joining this video. Make sure to check out the website admiralmarkets.com for a lot more info, technical analysis, wave analysis, fundamental analysis, and of course you can sign up for those webinars as well. Wish you great trading. Talk to you soon. Cheers.